Hi, everyone. Today we're on part 4 of the series that I'm calling Applying the Wisdom of Chinese Medicine. And I'm actually very excited about today's topic because we're talking about building energy and stamina. And this is a common question that I get asked in my practice. So I just want to welcome all the viewers. I know that more and more people are sharing this, and I really appreciate everyone sharing these topics to other people. So I just want to welcome all the new viewers there. And so today I'm going to be talking about building energy and stamina. And I'm going to show you 3 things to really support that energy so you can start having more vitality in your life and much less fatigue in your life. So my name is Dr. Jeffrey Lee. Hi, Kelly. Thanks for saying hi. And I love to help people feel better using as much natural support as possible. And that's why I'm really passionate about teaching this particular series. And my goal is to encourage all of you to pick one healthy habit and kind of journey with me as over the weeks and apply one good habit per week, and after that that's going to snowball in some real positive habits there. So before we launch into our topic today, I just want to do a couple of housekeeping things, and the first thing I want to show you is this. The Brio bingo. So we're doing something a little bit more interactive these days, and Dr. Vanessa Yu and Dr. Nitu has put together this bingo card, and it's open to all of you, and you have about a month or so to complete all the little tasks on this Brio bingo card, and you'll find links. You can email us, or I think even in yesterday's post there was a link to this card there. But just leave a comment there, and I'll make sure you get a link to it. But I just want to share with you my card. I've already had a chance to do a few things here. So I've had a chance to watch a Brio Facebook Live, and then I both liked and commented that. I've done my, I've been sprouting since my last video. Man, this feels like ages ago, but I did a video, I think sometime in March, and it was all about sprouting. So I've kept that habit going for sprouting, and I've been exercising a lot these days. So I've definitely kind of broken a sweat for at least 20 minutes, 2 times a week there. So I'm checking off my boxes there, and I encourage you, please join us. And the winner is, we're giving away some IV therapy, and I think also like Bowen therapy as well. So check that out. And I just want to do a quick recap from last time. Last time we talked about detoxification, and I actually got a lot of interaction, a lot of questions, which is fantastic. What we talked about last week was detoxifying with herbal teas. I talked a little bit about ginger, dandelion teas, chrysanthemum flowers there. And we also talked about moving the lymphatic system, so with water, with movement there. And also we talked about some natural air purification with plants there. So that's what we covered, and I invite you to just watch the video from last week. And what I'm also doing in my summaries is I'm trying to make it as interactive as possible. So I have a lot more questions, and I hope that you can use it sort of as a journal as you find different ways to up-level your health. Now, because we had so much interest in, questions from the detoxification talk, I've decided to do 2 things. And I just want to invite you, this coming Saturday, it's my turn to do a masterclass. So I'm going to be talking about the seeding phase. And the theme is actually around brain health, both mental health, and I'm going to be talking about the seeding phase of the Brio Living Program. And I will go a little bit deeper into detoxification. So if you're interested in that, please join me. And I'm going to try to incorporate a bit more technology. I'm going to try to figure out Zoom and kind of show you some slides if I can figure that out. The second thing, I'm super excited about this as well. Dr. Vanessa and myself, we have decided to do a group detox. That's right, we're going to do a virtual group detox. And for a lot of you, you probably heard that I just came off of a 10-day detox and I feel amazing. I feel so much better in my energy, my vitality, my thought process, and I was just mentioning that to Dr. Vanessa, and she's done this same detox before. And so we actually want to share this with our Brio family. And so what I'm proposing to do is we're going to do a very short webinar this coming Monday, so May 4th at 5 p.m. And the webinar, everyone's invited. Just listen in on what a metabolic detox is. And what we're going to be doing, actually, after the talk today, I'm going to be sending out an email to everyone, and you'll have a chance to register for this webinar. And then once you're at the webinar, feel free to ask us questions there, and we want to make sure that it's a good fit for you. And then after that, you'll have a chance to actually sign up for the 10-day detox. And we're going to start that on May 11th, and that's the Monday after. And both Dr. Vanessa and I are going to be doing it alongside you. So we're going to be doing it with you, and as well as we're going to have daily check-ins through Facebook. We're also going to schedule a couple of check-ins so that we can answer some questions for you. So I'm actually really excited about that. Please stay tuned with an email that's coming up later this evening. Okay, so now that I've got some of the housekeeping things out of the way, let's jump in there. We're going to talk about creating energy and stamina. And the three things we're going to talk about today is I'm going to share with you some of the herbs that I absolutely love. So you're going to hear about ginseng, and you're going to hear about Gynostemma. I'm also going to show you some very simple acupressure points to just energize the body. And I'm also going to be talking about boosting the mitochondria. And the mitochondria is quite trendy right now. So I'm going to be looking at the mitochondria a little bit more from a TCM or Chinese medicine perspective. Now, let's do sort of my health assessment. So I like to start by asking a few questions just to help you process where your energy is at right now. So my first question is this: do you use coffee or energy drinks to keep you going during the day? In the last year, have you fallen asleep at your desk? Or have you fallen asleep commuting to work, whether it's on the bus or your SkyTrain? And number 3, do you feel mildly depressed even when the things are going quite well in your life? Do you often get 7 or more hours of sleep at night, but you still wake up unrefreshed? And then number 5, do you feel physically weak when you engage in just minimal activities like walking a block or carrying groceries from your car to your kitchen? And again, in my summary, I'm going to be asking more questions, and I want you to answer those and kind of rank them or answer yes or no and see where you're at in this health assessment there. Now, energy is probably one of the most common questions that I get asked in my practice. And there's no one-size-fits-all answer for all of this, because my patients that are coming to see me for energy issues, I really personalize it for each individual. So, everyone has a different reason for having some energy issues. It could be a lack of nutrients. It could be a food sensitivity, leading to energy drains. It could be anemia or an iron deficiency. It could be an absorption issue. Maybe there's some gut health issues. Or it could be due to toxicity. Your body's spending all this energy dealing with the toxins and not enough energy just to, give you that vitality. So as you can see here, there's just so many causes of low energy. Now, in my opinion, and in the 15 years of just clinical practice, I think the main cause of energy is just our high stress modern day lifestyle. And I really see this pattern in so many of my patients there, where coping with stress, it really drains us. It really sucks a lot of the energy out of us. And what makes matters worse is our diet and our lack of exercise. It really, contributes to this kind of yo-yo effect in energy. And oh, I see that. Thank you, Dr. Yu. I think she sent that link to the Brio Bingo, so you can click on that. Thanks for sending that there. And I'm going to share with you just a story of what I'm calling the vicious cookie cycle. Yep, the vicious cookie cycle. And this was when I was a UBC student. So I really noticed in my second year of UBC, I had a ton of energy issues. I had issues in focusing, and I was just so tired all the time. And this was like, I was young at that time. I was, 19 or so. And this is how the vicious cookie cycle went. And for those UBC, grads out there, you'll probably chuckle at some of these, because you can probably identify. Now, when I would get to campus, because I woke up pretty late, by the time I commuted to campus, I was starving. So before my class, I would grab one of the UBC cinnamon buns, and those were good. Those were big and those were good. So I would have a cinnamon bun, and then I would have one of those Dino Chino iced cappuccinos. So it was just in a little milk carton. It was just like pure sugar with a bit of coffee in it. And I would have that for breakfast. So I would go through my first class, feeling pretty buzzed. And then by the end of that first class, I'm feeling, pretty tired now. And between classes, I would go and grab a Rise and Shine muffin. It was one of those carrot walnut muffins there. And I literally did this like almost every day. And I would grab a Rise and Shine muffin. I would have again, that sugar boost. It gets me through the next class. And then by lunch, I'm starving. And for those of you who remember the old sub, I would go and get one of those big boy subs. And it was terrible because it was just all bread. And it was just a big, thick hoagie bun with white bread and like a slab of salami. And I would eat that for lunch. And so my energy would go from like the caffeine and the sugar would go up, and then I would crash down, and would go up again for my next hit, and then it would crash again. And honestly, it took me a long time to figure out what was going on. I think to make matters worse, I ended up gaining a lot of weight, and I've shared this with a lot of people that I ballooned up, over 50 pounds heavier than I am right now. And I think the biggest problem was I just had that lack of focus. I would, when I was studying, I would reread like textbooks, the chapter over and over again, and just not really understanding. So I had a real issue there that was really affecting me. Now, I want to shift away and talk a little bit about how Chinese medicine views energy. And Chinese medicine, it's energy is a big part of it. You've heard that, energy equals like the life force or the quality of life. And you've heard the term qi before. So again, qi is that life force there. And the level as well as the quality of the qi really defines how you feel. And there's different types of qi. And I really love the way Chinese medicine has really described the different types of qi and energy. And I might have shared a little bit with a little bit of this before, but I'm going to repeat it because I think it's very important. So there's essentially three types of qi, or three types of energy in the body. Number one, there's something called gu qi, and gu means food or food sustenance. So all the important nutrients that you're getting from food, whether it's like proteins, carbohydrates, fats, as well as your micronutrients, your minerals and your vitamins, those are all really important. That gives you energy. So that's called gu qi. The second type of qi is called wei qi. Wei is sort of the atmospheric qi. And my translation to that is just the oxygen. So the more we actually breathe, and that's why, deep breathing is a really big part of the therapies that I teach my patients there. So that combination of gu qi with wei qi, the vitamins and minerals and nutrients from your food combined with the oxygen really provides that energy. And there's a third type of qi, which we call the Jing Chi. And that's kind of the essence qi. And this is where we start talking a little bit about, the energy from genetics there. If you've got, good genes there, you have a little bit more vitality to start off with. So that's important to understand. And I just want to highlight that again, because Chinese medicine puts a lot of thought and a lot of teaching around understanding qi and energy. So TCM has effective ways of boosting as well as maintaining qi, and they've talked about this for thousands of years, and they incorporate not just one methodology but really a whole host of other things. So acupressure, acupuncture, exercises, such as tai chi, deep breathing exercises such as qigong. They talk about superfoods as well as herbal medicine in their pharmacopoeia, and even they talk about certain dietary supplements. So all of that together is very important at building qi. So now I want to give you some practical, some good take-home messages here. And I'm going to start by talking about one of my favorite herbs, and it's ginseng. And ginseng, I'm sure you've all heard of it. So we're going to talk about ginseng, and I'm going to talk also a little bit about a less-known herb called Gynostemma. And for the spelling of all of these, I will put it into my summary so you can look these up there. So ginseng is the king of all energy tonics. And ginseng is very different from coffee, let's say, because coffee acts as a central nervous stimulant. So coffee and the caffeine there stimulates your nervous system, kind of gives you that jolt there. And there's studies that show in certain situations, like, athletes or, taking a test or something, yeah, a little bit of caffeine can be very helpful there. But that sustained kind of boosting of short-term boost of energy and then a crash is just not ideal for building that stamina there. So ginseng doesn't behave like a central nervous system booster. It actually is an adaptogenic herb, and as an adaptogenic herb, it will gradually build up your energy. And you've heard that I talk a lot about adaptogenic herbs. I talked about astragalus, schizandra. And so ginseng is also another adaptogenic herb, and it's wonderful at boosting the immune system. And it's super convenient to take. You can take it in a capsule form, in the root form, powder or tea form. And traditionally, ginseng was actually steamed with brown rice. And I mentioned this before, but brown rice is actually incredibly nutritious. There's 70 plus antioxidants in brown rice, around that husk that's around the brown rice. And there's just so much, good research. So that combination of a energy tonic with a good carbohydrate, that combination has been talked a lot about throughout the Chinese medicine history. You hear warriors recovering from battle. You read about women recovering from delivery, having sort of this ginseng with rice combination there. So ginseng is a really, really effective and powerful herb there. I'm going to talk a little bit about Gynostemma right now. Gynostemma is not as well known, but there's been a lot of really good modern research on this herb, and it's my new favorite herb there. I personally take it myself, and it's called the Chinese Immortality herb. And I think it's very popular now because of the, a lot of people with the anti-aging, that kind of movement there. But I'm just going to read a few things from a monograph about Gynostemma there. It's great for adrenal. It's like an adrenal tonic there. It's another powerful adaptogen. There's a biphasic effect on the brain. And what that simply means is if it's an adaptogenic for the brain. So it can help calm the brain, but at the same time, it can help kind of slowly energize the brain as well. It increases strength and endurance, and it's great for the immune system. And it's got different types of antioxidants. And in fact, there's a little bit more of something called saponins, and there's more of that in Gynostemma even compared to ginseng. So I just wanted to share a little bit of that with you. Please do a bit of your research, and for my patients there, you're welcome to have a monograph to go into further details there. So first recommendation is look into some of these excellent herbs there. Secondly, I'm going to show you some very simple acupressure points that you can do. Now, there's 3 acupressure points that I'm going to share with you. The first one is called Kidney 1. Kidney 1 is called it's called the gushing spring. And it's very popular. It's the great vitality point. Now, Kidney 1's on the bottom of your foot. Okay, and I'm not going to show you the bottom of my foot because I'm still in my PJs right now. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, no, I am in my PJs, but I'm going to show you I'm going to use my hand, and right at the balls of your foot there is a tender spot right in the middle, and that's Kidney 1. And a great way to stimulate this is actually, so imagine these are my feet. Take your heel and just kind of use your heel to just create some friction and rub that for about 3 to 5 minutes there. And get enough friction there, and then swap over to the other heel and to rub that. The other option is you can actually, while you're maybe resting, watching TV, or when you're meditating or something, you can actually pick up your foot and actually start kind of massaging that point. And you don't have to put a lot of pressure in there, but just do some gentle massage there. Kidney 1 is a really important acupuncture point. It can be a little bit tender when I put a needle in there, but it's a great point to ground the body. But when we're stimulating with acupressure, it's excellent at stimulating. The kidney meridian just really goes right through the entire body. So I love that point. The second point I'm going to teach you is gallbladder 20. Gallbladder 20 is just, and I'll show you, I'll turn my head in a second there, but just in the base of the skull. So about a thumb's width away from your spine and at the base of your skull. And there's a little kind of a pocket there. And when you massage it, my point's a little bit tender just because I've been doing a lot of research and my neck's a bit stiff here, but for most people you will feel a little bit of a tenderness, and I'll just again turn around. Sorry, I have a terrible COVID-19 haircut that I haven't done yet, but I haven't cut my hair yet, but it's in the back here. I don't know if you can actually see that or not, but you can probably easily look that up online, GB20. And what I recommend is just doing some just gentle kind of stimulation. And it's, again, very energizing. This is one of my favorite points. I love needling this acupuncture point just to help kind of bring more circulation, more chi flow into the head. But even, during after like a busy day at work or something, I will do self massage there. And usually I spend 2 to 3 minutes on each point there, and it's enough. And while you're watching this, try that. You'll actually feel a little bit of that kind of energy circulating in your head. And then the third point I want to talk about is large intestine 4. And so it's just this point. This is, again, a very common acupuncture point. So it's just, I take this bone here, cut it in half there, or halfway point. And here, it's a little bit of a tender point. This is another very common acupuncture point. This is very well known for a lot of headaches there. So if you have headaches, this is a very common point that I like to use there. And again, it's great at opening up the large intestine meridian all the way up into the opposite side of the head as well as the same side there. So it's a great point. Often it is a little bit tender there. But these 3 points, kidney 1, gallbladder 20, and large intestine 4, great at getting the habit of stimulating it just to get a bit of energy, a bit of vitality. These are some of my favorite points before I would take an exam when I was a student there. I would definitely be stimulating all these points there. Now, the third thing I want to talk about is mitochondria. And this is rather trendy right now. You're going to hear a lot of people talk about mitochondria. And what is mitochondria? It's such a big word. The mitochondria simply is, they are the little energy factories that are found inside your cell. And again, we've got trillions of cells that make up the human body, and within each cell, we've got mitochondria. In fact, several mitochondria. And think of the mitochondria creates something called ATP, which then creates energy for the body. Okay, now I just want to share with you that there is a little bit of a downside with the mitochondria. Now, well, let me talk about the upside first, because if you have a good circulation, if you've got good vitamins and minerals in your diet, you're going to feed all those nutrients into your cells. Your cells are going to absorb all of it, and it's going to feed into the mitochondria. Once the mitochondria has enough nutrients, it will start producing energy. So that's why it's so important for nutrition. And in fact, I'm going to be wrapping up this section in mitochondria, summarizing some of the things that we talked about in the previous 3 weeks there. But so the take-home message for mitochondria is you need to provide good nutrition to be able to have your mitochondria functioning well. Now, I did say that there's a downside to it, because with all of this metabolism happening, with all this energy production, there's byproducts to this. And the byproduct is called oxidative stress. Or we call it, like, oxidative stress sort of means like it's rusting. There's interactions with oxygen species. Basically, the byproduct is creating something called a free radical. And a free radical is actually a toxin in the body. And when free radicals are left unchecked, they can cause a lot of damage to the cell. And so what's actually really, really important to support mitochondria energy production is you need to make sure that we get rid of those free radicals. And how do we get rid of it? We need to take antioxidants. Antioxidants just trap our free radicals, and it prevents it from getting, it prevents it from damaging our cells there. That's often overlooked by a lot of people. And so, because I think a lot of the modern medicine, they just want you to, take all this stuff in to boost your energy. And they really forget to address how important it is to deal with these free radicals. Now, our bodies are capable of getting rid of free radicals. Like, we actually have our own production of antioxidants, things like glutathione, for example. We can produce that. But however, with just everything that I'm researching, our modern day lifestyle, we can't handle the toxic load from the free radicals. We just simply can't handle it anymore. So we need to actually take important antioxidants into our diet, and we need to really remove the toxins there. So I just want to emphasize this and maybe kind of bring it back to the few things that we talked about in the past three sessions. Increasing antioxidants, decreasing the amount of sugar and highly processed foods in our diet, really cutting it down that toxic load, and improving exercise. So a quick summary. So everything that we've talked about in the past 3 weeks applies to help us kind of regulate our mitochondria and then in turn boost energy. And that's why I put this energy talk here right now, kind of like 4 weeks into it, because everything that we talked about in the past. So in part 1, in the first week, we talked about immunity, and to boost your immune system, I talked about adaptogenic herbs. I talked about eating multicolored foods, right? I talked about green color foods, red color foods, different pigments in your fruits and vegetables there. Those are so rich in antioxidants. Part 2, we talked about mental health, and we talked about lowering stress. We talked about finding things that provide joy and beauty. All that is so important actually to calm our nervous system. So we're not, so when our nervous system is nice and relaxed, we're set up to heal. Last week, I talked about detoxification. We talked about moving lymphatic system. I talked about air purification. We talked about some ideas of, household plants there. All those tips that I gave you around detoxification is incredibly powerful at boosting energy there. So, yeah, I want to welcome all the new people who just joined us. So today we're talking about just energy, and I'm just doing a quick summary of things that we talked about for the past few weeks and how important that is. So I'm going to wrap things up right now. Just the three things that we did talk about today. I just talked about the importance of mitochondria. If you need more clarification, write that down in the comments or shoot me an email. I love geeking out about this, but I'm trying to keep it practical for you. So mitochondria, the summary is making sure that you're eating well, taking care of your immune system, taking care of your mental health, but making sure you're detoxifying as well. That will really help your energy production. Number 2, I talked about different acupressure points to stimulate vitality. Just get that qi flowing, and qi means energy in Chinese medicine. And then I also talked about 2 adaptogenic herbs, ginseng and Gynostemma. Thank you again. I really enjoy sharing some of this some of the stuff that I learn about Chinese medicine with you. And please do check out the summary, because I'm going to have more questions, and I hope you can put all these together in the 6-part series as a real practical practical things that you can do in your life, and just pick one habit that you can journey with me, and do them regularly, and I hope that really transforms your health. So again, take a look at the masterclass this coming Saturday, and also if you're interested in that virtual group detox, I'd love to see you there. Okay, take care.